There's a quiet change unfolding around you, something subtle, yet impossible to ignore once you truly feel it. The space between you and the person tied to your heart no longer feels distant or uncertain. It carries emotion now, unspoken thoughts, and feelings they have kept buried for far too long. They have replayed countless conversations in their mind, searching for the courage to finally say what has been living inside them all this time. The silence they once relied on is beginning to crack, and the closer they get to the truth, the harder it becomes to pretend they feel nothing. For a long while, fear convinced them to stay guarded. They chose distance over vulnerability, convincing themselves it was easier not to risk the possibility of rejection or disappointment. Watching from afar felt safer than stepping forward with honesty. But emotions do not remain hidden forever, especially when they grow stronger with time. Something within them has shifted completely. The doubts that once held them back no longer feel convincing, and the connection they tried to ignore has become impossible to silence. Every thought of you lingers longer than before. Every missed opportunity weighs heavier on their heart, and every imagined moment without you leaves an ache they cannot dismiss. What matters now is this: people can only hide from their feelings for so long before the truth begins demanding to be heard. Love has slowly become stronger than hesitation, stronger than uncertainty, and stronger than the walls they built around themselves. They are reaching a point where staying silent feels far more difficult than finally speaking from the heart. Standing at the edge of a decision, balancing between caution and confession, between pretending they feel nothing and finally admitting they have felt everything. You may have sensed it already, that strange pull lately, that feeling in your chest when everything becomes quiet, that unexplainable awareness that something is approaching. It is not your imagination. Energetically, emotionally, spiritually, they are moving toward you. Not because someone forced them, not because circumstances demanded it, but because the truth inside them has become impossible to ignore. And what they are realizing is powerful. No matter how much time passes, no matter how many distractions appear, no matter how many times they try to suppress what they feel, their heart keeps returning to you, again, and again, and again. Pause and think about that. Out of every face they have seen, every conversation they have had, every road they could have chosen, their spirit still circles back to your name. Why? Because some connections are not ordinary. Some people enter your life and leave a mark no one else can erase. Some souls recognize each other before words are ever spoken, and your soulmate has finally begun to understand this. They are no longer asking themselves, "Do I feel something?" They know they do. Now the question tormenting them is far more dangerous. What happens if I lose my chance? That thought is haunting them, because for the first time, they are not only afraid of confessing, they are more afraid of never confessing. Read that again in your spirit. The fear of rejection once controlled them. Now the fear of regret controls them more. That is the turning point. That is when silence begins to break. Not immediately, not dramatically, but first, in subtle ways. You may notice them trying to appear closer, trying to create excuses to reconnect, trying to test the waters with small gestures, unexpected messages, lingering eye contact, unusual warmth. Why? Because before a soul confesses love, it often begins by inching closer to safety. They are gathering courage, studying your energy, wondering if the door is open, wondering if their truth will be welcomed, or if it will change everything forever. And yet, no matter how careful they try to be, Their feelings are beginning to leak through. In their voice, in the way they look at you, in the way they linger longer than necessary, in the way they seem unable to fully walk away, because love kept hidden too long starts revealing itself in everything. And this is only the beginning. What they have not said yet, what they have barely admitted even to themselves, is far deeper than simple attraction. This is not a passing emotion, not curiosity, not temporary fascination. This is the kind of feeling that alters a person, the kind that keeps someone awake at night, replaying moments, the kind that makes them imagine futures they never planned, the kind that forces them to ask, what if this person is the one I was never supposed to let go? That question is echoing inside them now, and once someone begins asking that, silence becomes unbearable. So, if you have felt delayed, if you have wondered whether this connection was real, if part of you feared nothing would ever happen, something is shifting quietly in the background, even if nothing has been spoken out loud yet. The emotions they once tried to bury are no longer staying under control. Day by day, those feelings are becoming harder to deny, harder to escape, and impossible to silence. What once felt confusing to them is now turning into clarity. Deep inside, they already know what their heart wants, but accepting it completely has taken time. This is no longer about imagination or temporary emotion. It is becoming real in a way they can finally feel within themselves. Every passing moment pulls them closer to honesty, and the weight of everything left unsaid is growing heavier than before. Lately, their thoughts have been consumed by the same question over and over again. Do they finally speak from the heart, or continue pretending nothing exists? They replay old memories in silence, revisiting moments that still linger in their chest long after the day ends. Even while trying to focus on everyday life, your presence keeps finding its way back into their mind unexpectedly. They attempted to move forward logically, convincing themselves distance would weaken these emotions, but the opposite happened. The space between you only revealed how meaningful the connection truly is. Some feelings become clearer only after someone important is no longer close enough to reach. That emptiness has made them confront emotions they once avoided. And now, with every quiet night and every unspoken thought, they are slowly realizing that keeping everything hidden may no longer be possible. They have imagined what life would look like if they never told you, if they kept pretending, if they watched the opportunity drift away while fear kept their mouth closed. That vision shook them, because in that imagined future, nothing felt right. Not success, not comfort, not temporary distractions, nothing. Why? Because once a soul knows where its heart belongs, everything else begins to feel incomplete. This is why their energy around you has changed. Even if they have not spoken yet, even if outwardly they appear composed, internally they are unraveling in the most beautiful way. They are no longer resisting the connection, they are preparing for it. And preparation before love often looks messy. One day they feel brave enough to tell you everything. The next day fear returns and whispers, wait. One moment they are ready to leap. The next, they wonder if they are reading the signs wrong. But uncertainty cannot stop destiny forever, because every internal battle they fight is moving them toward one final realization. There will never be a perfect time, no flawless moment, no guaranteed outcome, no magical certainty that removes all risk. There is only truth, and the courage to finally live it. That realization is changing them. It is making them bolder, more honest with themselves, less willing to hide behind excuses. Soon, the version of them you once knew, the hesitant one, the guarded one, the emotionally restrained one, may feel almost unrecognizable, because when someone chooses love over fear, they transform. and your soulmate is in the middle of that transformation now. Watch carefully. The signs may come subtly at first. A message that feels more personal than usual. A sudden effort to be near you. Questions that reveal deeper curiosity about your life. Moments where their guard slips and their true feelings flash across their face before they can hide them. Those are not accidents. Those are cracks in the wall they built around their heart, and every crack means the confession is getting closer. Here is what many people misunderstand. Love confessions rarely begin with the exact words, "I love you." Sometimes they begin with vulnerability, with honesty, with unexpected emotional openness, with someone saying, "There's something I've been meaning to tell you." That is how the heart opens, slowly, then all at once, and when they finally speak, you may realize they have been carrying far more than you imagined. Feelings they buried, thoughts they never voiced, dreams involving you they never dared admit. Because while you were wondering whether they cared, they were trying to survive the intensity of caring this much. If this message resonates with your spirit, let it find the ones who need to hear it too. Share it with someone walking through the same mystery. And if your heart has felt this shift already, leave a comment below. I feel it coming. There are moments in life when everything changes quietly. No noise, no grand announcement, just a deep inner certainty that refuses to be ignored any longer. Sometimes, the strongest decisions are born in silence, long before they are ever spoken aloud. And when someone finally gathers the courage to express what has been living in their heart, it is rarely impulsive. It comes after countless nights of reflection, emotional battles, and the difficult process of confronting parts of themselves they once avoided. Growth transforms people in ways others cannot always see. The person standing before you now is not the same version that once hid behind hesitation, uncertainty, or fear. They have spent time untangling old emotions, letting go of pride, and learning that honesty requires vulnerability. Every unspoken feeling, every delayed conversation, every internal conflict slowly shaped them into someone ready to face the truth with sincerity, rather than avoidance. That is why their words will carry depth when they finally arrive. Nothing about the moment will feel shallow or rehearsed. It will come with genuine emotion, because real feelings have a way of demanding to be heard eventually. What once felt impossible to admit will suddenly become impossible to suppress. And strangely, the final spark that pushes everything forward may not be dramatic at all. Sometimes clarity arrives through the simplest experiences, a familiar smile, an unexpected memory, or a quiet realization during an ordinary day. In one unforgettable instant, they understand that waiting any longer would mean losing something truly meaningful, and that realization changes everything. And in that instant, every excuse they once clung to will collapse. Because some awakenings arrive quietly, and when theirs arrives, they will know. They will know the time for silence is over. They will know hesitation has cost enough already. They will know that if they remain still one moment longer, they may lose something too precious to risk. That is when courage takes over. Not perfect courage, not fearless courage, but the kind that trembles while moving forward anyway. Your soulmate is approaching that threshold now. Can you feel how close this is? The energy around your connection is no longer dormant. It is building momentum, invisible at first, then undeniable. Soon, the signs will become impossible to ignore. The conversation that feels different, the look that lingers too long, the words that tremble before they are spoken, the strange stillness in the air when both of you realize something important is about to happen. And then, the confession, not polished, not rehearsed the way they imagined it, because real feelings rarely emerge perfectly. It may come out messy, emotional, unexpectedly vulnerable. They may stumble over their words, pause mid-sentence, struggle to explain how long they have carried this, but that imperfection will be the proof, because only truth shakes a person like that. Only genuine emotion makes someone lose their carefully prepared script. Only real love causes the voice to soften when the heart finally opens, and when they confess, you will understand that this was never something small to them. You were never just a thought, never just an option, never just someone they liked for a while. You became the feeling they could not replace, the connection they could not rationalize away, the possibility that refused to leave their heart in peace. That is why this confession will carry power, because it is not merely words, it is the unveiling of everything they tried to hide. And hear this carefully. When someone delays speaking because the feelings are too deep, their confession often contains more truth than those who speak too quickly. They did not rush this. They did not throw words around carelessly. They waited, because what they feel is significant. And now the significance has become too heavy to contain. So if part of you has been losing faith, if part of you has wondered whether the waiting meant nothing, if part of you feared silence was the answer, let that fear go. Silence was never emptiness. It was preparation. It was transformation. It was two souls being shaped separately before the truth could unite them honestly. And now, the waiting is nearing its end. The next chapter of this connection will not be built on guessing, not on wondering, not on hidden emotions and unspoken longing. It will be built on revelation, because the person who once stayed quiet, the one who watched from behind emotional walls, the one who nearly let fear decide their future, is becoming the person who chooses honesty instead. And when they step forward, when they finally meet your gaze and tell you what has lived in their heart all this time, you may realize the confession was never late. It arrived at the exact moment both hearts were ready. So hold your peace a little longer. Something deep inside you already recognizes it. The energy around this connection has started to shift, even if nothing has been fully said yet. What once felt distant now feels closer, warmer, almost impossible to ignore. The quiet between two hearts is no longer empty. It carries emotion, anticipation, and the weight of feelings that have been hidden for far too long. What's approaching is not simply a moment of confession. It is a turning point, a truth that changes the atmosphere completely, because when real emotions are finally expressed, nothing remains casual anymore. Every interaction begins to matter in a different way. A simple glance lingers longer. Ordinary conversations suddenly feel meaningful. Even silence begins to speak its own language. For a long time, fear kept this connection standing still. Not because the feelings were weak, but because they were powerful enough to alter everything once revealed. Opening the heart requires courage. It means stepping away from comfort and accepting vulnerability without guarantees. That is why the truth was delayed, not out of confusion, but out of the awareness that love changes people forever. But hiding emotions eventually becomes heavier than expressing them. The thought of losing the chance to be honest starts to feel unbearable. Wondering, what if, becomes more painful than the risk of rejection itself. And somewhere within them, a realization has finally settled in. Some bonds are too rare to remain unspoken. Some people become impossible to love quietly. So now, instead of running from these emotions, they are slowly finding the courage to face them honestly and let the story unfold naturally. They would rather risk vulnerability than live with regret. Rather face uncertainty than continue hiding. Rather know your answer than remain trapped in endless wondering. That is growth. That is maturity. That is what real emotional awakening looks like. And when they come forward, you may notice something unexpected. Their confession may not sound dramatic. It may be quiet, steady, almost trembling beneath the surface, because the deepest feelings are not always shouted. Sometimes they are spoken softly, as if the soul itself is afraid of how powerful the truth has become. They may tell you they have been trying to ignore this, trying to move on, trying to suppress what they feel, but nothing worked, because no matter where they went, no matter what they focused on, no matter how much time passed, their heart kept choosing you, again and again and again. That is the confession behind the confession, not merely, I have feelings for you, but, I tried not to, and still I do. I tried to forget, and still I couldn't. I tried to silence my heart, and it kept saying your name. That kind of truth changes people. That kind of honesty creates moments remembered forever. And when you hear it, when you stand in front of someone brave enough to reveal everything they once hid, you will understand why the waiting had meaning, because rushed love often burns fast, but love that survives fear, distance, timing, and silence, that love carries depth, it carries intention, it carries gravity, it carries the power to become something lasting. If this message has been speaking directly to your heart, share it with someone who believes timing matters in love. And if you've stayed with this journey until now, subscribe and remain close, because some messages arrive exactly when souls need confirmation most. But there is one more truth you must hear before this chapter closes. When they confess, do not only listen to their words, listen to what exists beneath them. Listen for the nights they stayed awake thinking of you. Listen for the battles they fought with fear before speaking. Listen for the vulnerability hidden between every sentence. Listen for the courage it took to stand before you exposed and honest, because their confession will not simply be words, it will be proof. Proof that love moved them. Proof that growth changed them. Proof that what exists between you was strong enough to survive silence and still remain. And perhaps most beautifully of all, proof that what is meant for you can hesitate, can wander, can struggle through fear and confusion, but eventually, it finds the courage to return. So when the moment arrives, when they step toward you with truth in their eyes and trembling in their voice, receive the moment fully, because this is what your heart has been sensing. This is what the waiting was preparing you for. This is what all the quiet signs were leading toward. The silence is ending. There's a moment approaching that neither of you will be able to ignore anymore. The person who spent so long guarding every emotion, pretending distance was safer than honesty, is finally reaching the edge of their silence. What they have carried quietly for so long is becoming too powerful to keep hidden. Loving you reshaped something deep inside them, changing the way they think, feel, and see the future. And once those emotions are spoken aloud, nothing between you can return to what it used to be. The uncertainty that once filled every glance and every unfinished conversation will begin to fade. What existed only in quiet dreams and unspoken wishes will suddenly stand right in front of both of you, undeniable and real. There will be a brief stillness after the truth comes out, a pause so intense it feels as if the world itself has stopped moving. In that instant, two hearts will understand they have crossed into unfamiliar territory where emotions can no longer hide behind fear or hesitation. For them, this isn't simply about confessing affection. It's about finally allowing themselves to be fully seen, without defenses, without escape routes, without pretending they feel less than they truly do. Their eyes will search yours carefully, hoping to find reassurance in your reaction while bracing themselves for the vulnerability of the moment. And when that truth settles between you both, every confusing silence from the past will suddenly make sense. The way they looked at you, the way their energy shifted around you, the unspoken tension they could never explain, it all came from feelings they were terrified to name, yet never strong enough to deny. Why they stayed close when they could have walked away. Why they returned to your mind even when you tried to dismiss the signs. Why your intuition refused to let this connection go. Because your spirit recognized what words had not yet confirmed. And now, confirmation arrives. But here is what makes this moment even more powerful. The confession is not only changing your life, it is changing theirs too. Because the moment they speak, they become someone new. No longer the person who hid behind fear, no longer the one who watched from a distance, no longer the one who loved in silence. They become the one who chose bravery, the one who stepped into truth, the one who risked their heart, because what they felt for you mattered more than their fear. That kind of courage leaves a mark on the soul. And whether your connection unfolds slowly or all at once afterward, whether your story begins gently or with overwhelming emotion, one thing will be undeniable. Nothing between you will ever return to what it was before, because once love is spoken aloud, it cannot become unspoken. Once hearts recognize each other openly, pretending becomes impossible, and this next season of your life may bring what you once only dreamed of. Late-night conversations filled with honesty, a bond no longer hidden behind hesitation, a relationship built not on assumptions, but truth, a love finally given permission to breathe. Can you imagine it? The person you once wondered about, standing before you with certainty, the one who once held back, now choosing you openly, the one who feared speaking, now unable to stop telling you how deeply they feel. That is the shift approaching. And if your heart has stayed patient through the silence, if you trusted what you felt even when reality offered no proof, then know this: you were not waiting in vain. You were being prepared for a love that required timing, for a confession that needed courage, for a connection that had to mature before it could fully bloom. Some things take longer because they are meant to last longer. Let that settle in your spirit. What rushed past you was never yours. What is meant for you may pause, may delay, may arrive in unexpected ways, but when it comes with truth, and this truth is nearing its arrival now. So remain open, remain steady, remain receptive to the shift already unfolding around you, because the next message, there comes a point in life when everything unsaid begins to surface. A glance lasts a little longer, a conversation carries unfamiliar honesty, and the distance that once felt permanent slowly starts to disappear. What seemed confusing for so long suddenly makes sense in the quietest way. Every missed chance, every unanswered feeling, every moment that tested your patience was not meaningless after all. It was part of a larger journey neither of you fully understood at the time. Some connections are not meant to bloom instantly, because real love asks for growth before commitment. It asks two people to become emotionally prepared before they can truly recognize the value of what stands in front of them. When the truth finally arrives, it will not feel rushed or dramatic. It will feel certain. The walls that once existed between you will no longer have a reason to stay standing. The person who once struggled to express themselves will finally speak with clarity, not because they were forced to, but because their heart can no longer ignore what it has always known. In that moment, you will realize this story was never about chasing temporary emotions. It was about becoming ready for something genuine. Life has been quietly shaping both of you through separate experiences, teaching difficult lessons, healing old disappointments, and helping you grow beyond fear. That is why the timing mattered so deeply. Had everything happened earlier, neither of you would have understood the depth of this bond. But now, with wiser hearts and clearer minds, the connection carries the strength to become something lasting, peaceful, and real. Before growth, before clarity, before they understood the depth of what they felt, they may have loved you with uncertainty instead of intention. But now they are approaching you with awareness, aware of your value, aware of what you awaken in them, aware that some people are encountered only once in a lifetime, and losing such a person through fear would be a mistake they could never justify. That realization has become their fire. It is what will make their confession feel different from anything superficial you have heard before, because this will not sound like attraction. It will sound like recognition. Not, "I think I like you," but, "I have tried to deny this and failed. I have tried to move past this and couldn't. I have searched for peace without telling you, and there is none." That is the language of a soul that has finally surrendered. And perhaps the most beautiful part of all, they are not just ready to confess, they are ready to pursue, ready to show consistency where there was once hesitation, ready to choose effort where there was once confusion, ready to prove through action what they first reveal through words, because true confession is not only spoken, it is demonstrated. Watch what happens after they open their heart. They will become intentional, present, protective of the bond between you, careful with your feelings, because they understand what it took to reach this point. That is how you know this is real. Real love does not merely announce itself, it shows up, it stays, it builds. And if there were moments in the past when you doubted yourself, doubted your intuition, doubted whether your heart was sensing something true, this coming season will answer those doubts, not through signs, not through guesses, not through mysterious feelings in the air, but through direct truth, through honesty, through presence, through someone finally saying with their whole chest what their soul has whispered for so long. And when that happens, something inside you may shift too. You may realize your own heart had been waiting, guarded perhaps, patient perhaps, but waiting nonetheless. Because deep down, part of you always knew this story was unfinished. You felt the pause was not the end. You sensed the silence held meaning. You knew there was something unsaid suspended between you. You were right. The unsaid is preparing to be spoken. So if tonight you feel that strange anticipation, that unexplainable peace mixed with nervous expectation, that sensation that something in your life is quietly moving into place, trust it. Sometimes the soul senses arrival before the eyes can see it. Your soulmate is nearing the moment they can no longer contain what they feel. The walls are down. The fear is fading. Some emotions never disappear. They simply wait for the right time to reveal themselves. Soon, someone who once struggled to express what was buried deep inside will finally step forward with honesty instead of silence. The distance, the pauses, the unfinished conversations, none of it was meaningless. Every quiet glance carried something unspoken. Every moment apart held emotions that words could not yet explain. What once looked uncertain was actually a heart gathering the strength to be understood. There are feelings that take time to mature, not because they are weak, but because they are genuine enough to be handled carefully. While everything seemed calm on the surface, something powerful was quietly growing underneath. Affection turning into certainty, hesitation transforming into bravery. The emotions were never absent. They were simply waiting for confidence to replace fear. Even the smallest gestures had meaning hidden inside them, though it may not have been obvious at the time. And when the truth is finally spoken, everything will suddenly make sense. The confusion, the delays, the emotional distance, All of it will connect like pieces of a story that was unfolding quietly in the background. What once felt unclear will become undeniable. You will realize that nothing about this connection was accidental or imagined. It was sincere from the very beginning, patiently waiting for the perfect moment to be revealed. That long-awaited moment is no longer far away. It is approaching faster than expected, bringing with it clarity, emotion, and the kind of honesty that changes everything forever.